I just got my hands on my 4th 3000 series GPU, an RTX 3090 White Edition. What's up guys, welcome back to another GigaGeek video, and today I'll be doing an unboxing, overview, and a benchmark of this RTX 3090 White Edition. I'm so excited to unbox it and show it off to all you guys. And without any further ado, let's begin. Alright, well now let's just begin with the unboxing. So I peel this tape off right here, and move this flap. It's really nice. It's a really nice unboxing experience for this card. So we have the box over here. I'm gonna throw that to the side. It's about the GPU right now. Alright, can't wait to open this up. So, oh man, alright, now let's just take this off right here, and there is the GPU. Let's go. Alright, now let's look at some of the accessories. We have this pouch. I'll show you what's inside later. We have some cable ties, it looks like. This is really nice for cable management, obviously. So now looking at what's inside this pouch, it's actually pretty unnecessary, but it's cool. I like it. It's a ring. So it's just put it on your ring finger, whatever finger you want. I don't know, it's a big fat ring with the ROG logo on it. And actually on this thing right here, it shows you coordinates, and when you put these coordinates into Google Maps, it takes you to an Asus office, I believe, which is pretty cool. All right, back to the unboxing experience. So now let's take this GPU out. It's massive, it's so heavy. Put this to the side right now. We'll save that for the last. Lastly, we have this other thing with a bunch of accessories. Now, I actually don't know what's in this. So now let's open this up. So for some reason, right here we have a ruler. I don't know what it's used for, but again, it's pretty cool. It goes to like 4 inches and a little bit more. I don't know, kind of cool, little random accessory. We have an Asus speed setup. This is on like every single GPU. Oh no. All right, well that fell out. Anyways, we have this little thing right here. This actually goes in the back of the GPU, so it can hide some part of it or make it look better. I'm not fully sure, but I'll show you guys later. And we have our second ROG Pokemon card, or collection card. I'll keep this as another token as well. All right, now this is the time that you all been waiting for. Let's unbox the GPU now. Opening this up. Taking this out. This is really heavy. Go to the side. And here we have it. Our RTX 3090 White Edition. Looks so good, it's super heavy too. Let's take a little quick tour around it. We have some I/O on the side. We have some RGB stuff right here. Once it turns on, you see the RGB. And towards the back, we have some stuff here. And I'll show you what this thing is for. This thing actually goes on the side, just like that. And when I put it like that, just a little piece just to make it look better. And yeah. Now, let's get into the review of this GPU. All right, now let's just move on to some of the overview and the aesthetics of the card. So it's basically just a black edition, just poured in white paint. I mean, I'm not complaining, it still looks really good. Anyways, we have the ROG logo in the center of the fans here. We have ROG over here, and then we have, again, the ROG logo. Look at the shroud, we have game on, like some gamer text, ROG Strix, and you have some coordinates again, just like the ring. It's pretty cool. This leads you to an Asus office, I believe. Again, kind of cool. Now let's move on to all the mouth-watering specs of this card. I can't wait to talk about it. It's super packed with features that you don't need, but again, it's 3090, so why not? It's on the Ampere architecture. It has 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. That's a lot of memory. You don't really need it for most cases, but again, why not? It's a 3090. And it's really fast. It's a lot faster than the GDDR6X variant you find on the 3070 and below. Its frequency is 890 megahertz max on the Boost OC mode. That's a 195 megahertz increase in the 3090 Founders Edition, or the original one, which is pretty significant. It has 10,496 CUDA cores. That's almost 3 times the amount of CUDA cores than the 3060 I reviewed a little bit later. Go check that out, please, thanks. Anyways. It has 328 tensor cores and 82 ray tracing cores, or RT cores for short. It's in a 384-bit bus. And there's an NVLink connector on the front, but SLI is dead, so don't use it. It's a waste of money. Alright, now let's talk about some of the visual specs of this card. Starting off with the size of the card. Just absolutely humongous. On camera, it does not give it justice. That's so much bigger in person. It's a massive 2.9 slot card, which is as big as the, I believe, the 3090 FE, which is 3 slots, so it's almost as big. Still massive. It has 3 8-pin power cables, so you're gonna want to make sure you have a pretty beefy power supply to support this for the amount of power it draws. Absolutely insane. I'll put some of the power draw in the benchmark later. If you're using this with a Ryzen 9, I'll probably recommend like an 850 watt power supply, preferably 1000 just to be on the safer side. On the front, we have some performance mode and a quiet mode. Again, I would always recommend performance mode because it's already going to be quiet because of the massive heatsink and fans we have on these. Now let's talk about the I/O. We have 3 DisplayPort 1.4a and 2 HDMI 2.1, so the new HDMI that supports all the fancy stuff. Alright, now let's talk about some of the cooling that the GPU has. So it's a 3090 overclocked edition, so it's gonna have the best cooling and all that. So let's get straight into it. We have 3 fans, and they have this thing called axial technology. Asus calls it that. It's basically a barrier ring around the fan that increases air pressure towards the heatsink, so it can cool it even more effectively. The fans can spin in different directions, so for less turbulence. And all the fans stop when the GPU is under 50 degrees Celsius to keep your system nice and quiet. And after doing some research, there's actually 7 heat pipes coming off of the cold plate. There's flow-through cooling on the back so that air can move more freely. And there's, on the heatsink, there's something called a max contact heatsink, which basically, it allows for better heat dissipation by better contact with the GPU itself. And honestly, this GPU is pretty similar to the 3060 I reviewed a little bit before, just a bit beefed up with the heatsink and stuff. But yeah. Alright, now let's talk about some of the even more extra features that you don't need in this card. Starting off with something called GPU Tweak 2. It's a software which basically lets you tune your graphics card. And since it's a super high-end Asus GPU, all the capacitors, all the MOSFETs, all the chokes, they're all really high quality to make sure that your card is running nice and efficiently. And on the side of the card, there's 2 PWM fan connectors, so if you wanted to add even more case fans to your card, put them on the back to cool the VRM on the back of the card. I don't know, for any reason that you want. So now, probably the part that you've all been waiting for, let's move on to some of the benchmarks of this card. So before I exactly benchmark this GPU, let me just talk about some of the PC specs that I'm using it with. So I'm using it with the Ryzen 7 3700X. I'm using 32 gigabytes of Core 7 RAM. It's all on the MSI Mag B550 Gaming Plus. And the case I'm using is the LandCool 205 mesh, so there's tons of airflow, no worries about that. And it's all being powered by the RM850X. Now let's get down to the benchmarks. So before I wrap up this video, pricing on this card is currently $2,500 on most retail sites. The MSRP is $2,100, but you're not gonna find it like that on any site. But yeah, that wraps it up. Now let's move to the outro. Alright, well, that wraps this video up. Overall, this GPU looks really good, it performs really well, and also stay tuned for a surprise PC build with this GPU. I can't wait to build with it. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.